Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gyan Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration. Sadguru is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, section 76 of Upashama Prakarana, and the topic is crossing the ocean of the world process. And the characteristics of one who is enlightened. Naturally, it is the most advanced state, the climax of wisdom. But one has to have understanding what's waiting for you. The world is not waiting for you. Sun, moon, and stars are not waiting for you. What's waiting for you? Purnam, full. No matter how intricate your dreams may be, but what's waiting for you is your wonderful bed. You wake up. That's just this witty simile. Your goal is not attained on the basis of your mental concept, because the mind's function is through your nervous system. And brain and your nerves, they create kind of a iPod. And all you go on experiencing are led by karma, the way you have created your iPad. You cannot find your goal seated by the computer, no matter what wonderful program you may bring to it. In the same way, you can't find your goal, no matter how your brain has become highlighted, purified, energy flows finely, and all, in other words, simple way of saying, man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Mind is the cause of bondage and release. The entire story of bondage and release is operated in and through your mental process. As his desires are fulfilled, now we are talking about one who is enlightened. To understand how does an enlightened person exist in the world, what is his inner attitude, and deep down, where is he settled? He's settled in the awareness, not awareness, but absolute awareness. He's settled in Brahman. All his desires are fulfilled. He has nothing to gain by performing good karmas, nor has he anything to lose by performing negative karmas. The statement should not be taken literally. Otherwise, you start feeling you are enlightened and start doing all types of karmas. First point to understand, a sage is beyond karma. Karma has nothing to do with him. But while existing with physical body continues according to law of karma, according to prarabdha. Because the body is defined by karmic process. So though in his internal level, he is not the body. But while he is operating in the world with his human personality, how does he conduct himself? Fact is, in enlightened sage, good karmas are not to be practiced because a flower doesn't have to practice spilling out fragrance. It wafts fragrance. Karmas, whatever activity flows through a sage, has no tinge of negativity. But it can be interpreted by others as a negative karma. And a sage doesn't mind if you can call him doer of negative karma. Anyone can complain, you should have given me enlightenment. 5 years have gone by, you gave nothing. Goodness in a sage is not a matter of cultivating it, practicing it. It's spontaneous. So therefore, he is beyond the law of do good. He is beyond good and evil. No purpose of his can be served by gaining friends, nor has he anything to lose by inimical personalities. Everyone is always concerned to be recognized by people, lokeshana, to become popular, well appreciated. Some are more cultured people who want to be recognized on the basis of their virtue. But some don't wait to have virtue, they want to be recognized that they are virtuous. Otherwise their fist will come up. And therefore, it's very important how to deal with friendly people and people who don't like you, inimical people. So much in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira gives this great ideal of dharma. And the ideal is a person who is established in dharma faces a challenge. On one side, someone comes to adore him with a garland. Another side, someone comes with a sword to pierce his neck. And he looks at both with equal vision. He has no hatred towards the person who is coming with a soul. Nor he has a special admiration for the person who has brought wonderful flowers. He no longer depends upon the performance or non-performance of karmas. You have to improve your situation by doing good karmas. You have always concerned how to improve your karmic function. In the case of a sage, it is not so. All his activity flows in a spontaneous manner. In a practical world, he will appear to ascertain whether a project is good or not. Seated with disciples and devotees, he will listen to their advice and work out what should be done and what shouldn't be done. You have to always understand the practical reality is never ignored. Every detail in the practical world is observed more carefully and more effectively than ever. But at the same time, in a deeper level, doesn't matter. Success, failure, friend, enemy, gain, loss. Nor he is subject to bondage or release, nor does he expect heaven or hell as the goal of his journey. He has reached the end of life's journey. He has attained self-realization. Having realized the self, his mind is neither constricted by the experiences of pleasure and pain that alternate in life, nor elated by the prospect of liberation. All these subtle points are there to understand. Mind is always shaken by pleasure and as well as pain. And it is normal to expect to face a future that is full of prosperity, harmony, peace. And when it begins to happen, your eyes brighten up. And there is a constant focus on how to promote happiness and how to move away from misery, despair. In the case of a sage, conditions of pleasure and pain, they are result of karma. All the karmic functions, a sage is simply a witness from his internal point of view. Prasannatam yana gatavishekata tathana mamle banavasa dukkhata. Tulsidas says, it describes Rama. When he was given rulership over Ayodhya, going to be declared as the heir apparent to the throne, and he didn't show any special excitement in his face. And when he was told that he has been banished, he cannot take anything of Ayodhya from the treasury of Ayodhya. And in no way did his face wither. It remained serene like a lotus. Another aspect, an aspirant in the process of your progress, when you realize you are progressing, You look forward to more progress. Looking forward with jest. The case of a sage, no looking forward. No jest. Because he has attained it. An attainment of liberation is not attainment of any object. It's a revelation. It's like from a dream state, you wake up. Another message behind it, therefore, an aspirant should not torture his mind thinking about how long have I practiced sadhana? Why have I not attained liberation? First liberation, then anything else. That type of attitude is based on a limited mind. Mind that has really begun to experience spiritual progress. Now the mind does not go after how quickly can I attain. If you are given a wonderful dish where every item is so delicious, now you sit back and your mind doesn't say, how quickly can I rush and eat all the chocolates? They are not running away. And the more peaceful you are better, you are enjoying it. So, between sadhana state and the state of siddhi, attainment, that should be your mental attitude. In advanced stage, you begin to enjoy spiritual expansion, and your mind doesn't tell you, when will I attain liberation? You are already enjoying it. And your enjoyment, which is not ordinary enjoyment, is experience of revelation of bliss of the self. So no longer how long it takes, it doesn't matter. Again, I can remind you of the episode where Narada goes on. He first meets an ascetic practicing intense austerity. He's put fire all around him, Panchagni, and he is doing his mantra with intense desire to attain siddhi, perfection. He sees Narada, says, "Oh Narada, you are going to Lord Vishnu, ask him, how long should I be practicing in order to have his darshan?" And then Narada moves on and finds a devotee under a tree. And that devotee also asks, "O sage, ask the Lord, when will I be able to commune with him?" The story says Narada comes and first encounters that ascetic practicing intense austerity, and he says, "Only 5 more years." The man jumps out of it. Not even 1 month more. This is torture. And Narada goes to the devotee who is singing and dancing and doing kirtan, and the big tree with countless leaves. And Narada says, "You will have God realization. God will come to you, but not so quick. Look at how many leaves are there. When all the leaves drop off, then the Lord will come. And the devotee began to dance more. The Lord will come, that's more important point than counting the leaves. So this is a subtle secret behind successful sadhana. Not to have internal stress regarding your practice, but internal joy that every practice that you do, a divine opportunity has been utilized. Having realized the self, his mind is neither constricted by the experiences of pleasure and pain that alternate in life, nor elated by the prospect of liberation. Chitta in most people is like a bird trapped in the net of doubts and distractions. In the case of a sage, the fire of knowledge has destroyed the net of doubts and distractions, and freed of its bondage, it flies into the boundless expansion of the self. How can such a mind of the sage entertain petty thoughts for the perishable objects of the world? Put more in a precise manner, it's referring to three great obstacles that must be removed in order to attain enlightenment. Sanshaya bhavana, the doubting state of mind. When you study it, they are put into sequence. In practice, you may have advanced state of mind and still will deal with some doubt. Still you will have other obstacles. So, and gradually they become weak and fade away. Now coming back to those obstacles, sanshaya bhavana, doubt. Doubt doesn't allow you to live your life fully. You are giving a simple illustration. On your bed you wake up. Now you have a doubt. Is it good for you to wake up? Your body wants to sleep. And then, if I don't wake up, I have just taken a vow of practicing sadhana. So what will happen to my vow? Turns to one side, thinking about what will happen to his vow, turns to other side. Why should he stay resting? So neither does he rest, nor does he do sadhana. Dvividha, mind goes in two modes, wasting its energy. And that is corrected by shravana, listening to the teachings. The listen term is a spiritual term. How to develop attention to what is uplifting for you. If you appreciate the value of jewels, then in a market your eyes are focused upon how to recognize the real jewel. So that in order to do so, you are guided by experts. to listen. So allow your mind to practice listening, direct listening from spiritual teacher, and subtle listening. A divine plan is operating. All things around you are as if giving you certain teachings. The blossom gives you the teaching. How spontaneous, how much spontaneity is there in blossoming. And when you blossom, fragrance is wafted in it. Now, look at the flower and say, oh, I have listened to you. I will follow it. I'm joking, but try to understand that. In other words, the world around you must be inspiring. Because the world is giving so many messages, day and night. But I'm leading you to a very advanced stage. But keep your mind focused on listening to the teachings of the scriptures, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Gita, all inspiring religious scriptures. Listening to ascertain the jewel behind the teachings, not going after too many words. That removes your sanshaya bhavana. You don't deal with a doubting mind. Next obstacle is called asambhavana. Your mind you make up your mind, or your mind makes up its determination that, yes, all the scriptures say is wonderful, but I can't do it. I know my karmas. It's impossible. I have no wings and I have to fly. That's impossible. The sense of impossibility is removed. Instead of using your mind, that you have wasted your time, you have not sadhana sadhana, it's impossible for you to attain enlightenment. Instead of coming to a desperate decision, try to do manana. Manana means you begin to reflect upon. You have learned aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Listening. Now you begin to reflect upon. In reflection, as mental impurities move away and distractions of your mind begin to be eliminated, as that happens, a simple revelation comes within your own mental set that no matter how many karmas are there, and no matter how many memories of doing bad deeds crowd your mind, the essential nature, God, the self, that self has never left you. And attaining Him is not dependent upon all the quantity of negative deeds that you have done or good deeds you have done. It doesn't depend upon those quantities. No matter how dark is the night and how dreadful may be the dark forces, the sun is going to rise. So there is nothing impossible. And that sun potential is your soul. So, that's called manana, reflecting upon the reality of the self and unreality of the world. Reflecting upon the world as a long dream, and the reality is absolute awakening. Third obstacle called viparita bhavana. Your mind has already made up in a perverted way. It's called perverted vision. The best simple illustration is when you are seeing your face in a mirror, someone says, "What is before your eyes? What are you doing?" He says, "Before my eyes is my face." But face is not before your eyes. Before your eyes is a mirror. Not your face. Face is a reflection in the mirror. You go after reflection, ignoring the mirror. You go after reflections in consciousness. Understand, pure consciousness is pratyaya bhav. Pure consciousness is like the screen beyond all cinema show. So all that you are experiencing is on the basis of awareness. That awareness never goes away. And that awareness should be your target. Not awareness of misery, awareness of joy and sorrow, awareness of countless things of this world. All that type of awareness is a shaky awareness, reflections. Prajnanam Brahma, pure awareness. That's what you are. All these reflections are like your iPad business. The real I am is pure awareness. So that's the way viparita bhavana is corrected. Sanshaya bhavana is corrected by listening. Asambhavana is corrected by manana, reflection. Viparita bhavana is corrected by nididhyasan. Nididhyasan is that mental process, that type of vichar movement of who am I. In that movement you begin to understand that reality is underlying all mental projections. So don't look for reality in your mental projections. And all your mental projections are sustained by pure awareness. A little glimpse of this is experienced when you practice techniques like Yoga Nidra. You relax yourself and let go all and allow your mind to settle calm. So calm that pure awareness begins to manifest. So in that state of calmness, you can create affirmation that you are a swan, you are soaring high, you have blended with the moon, and you are showering nectarine grace emanating from your heart. All this ends up with revelation of pure awareness, as if you have gone into deep sleep, not ordinary sleep. The whole world drops away, transcends. And that state of experience continues in a sage all the time. All things are there, but consciousness, pure consciousness is never shaken. And that's what you are, absolute consciousness. Freed of all illusions, his mind becomes one with Brahman. He becomes like the sky that cannot be affected by the forming and dissipating clouds of the world process. So that state of settlement, the entire world process and all that happens are like clouds in different formations, thunder and rain, lightnings, as well as clouds, silvery and joyous, as if dancing in the sky. The sky allows them all and is untouched by it. That's where you are. Your reality is, that's your essential nature. That's called liberation, self-realization. Just as a child sleeping peacefully in a cradle moves its limbs only as an expression of its overflowing contentment. Another simile is begun, childlike, not childish. If you are childish, that's it. You are Shishupal of the Mahabharata. That's a demoniac quality. Childlike is the state of enlightenment. Therefore, Lord Shiva is called Bambhola, an absolute simpleton. Deep down, you are absolute simpleton. And ever relaxed. Negative things have happened, a baby reacts to it, but then begins to laugh. Same mother, the baby hates the hand, because by the hand, the mother goes on controlling the baby. At the same time, the baby smiles at the nose of the mother. In other words, it does not hold on to any grudge, hatred. Apparent reactions come in a baby, but the baby's mind doesn't hold on to those reactions. It doesn't hold on to, the memories, how many things have happened, etc. Nothing. The mind is completely clear. That state becomes your natural state of internal aspect of your mind. In external world, your appearance will be according to practical reality. So even though a sage may create a face of as if firm, scolding, but deep down he is Bambhola. A sage who has destroyed the possibility of embodiment is ever immersed in the ocean of bliss. From Bhavasagar to Ananda Sagar. The world process is Bhavasagar, the ocean of cycle of birth and death. Now we have come into the ocean of Ananda, bliss. Drunk as it were with the intoxicating nectar of immortality. That revelation, I am eternal, immortal, that's the most intoxicating drink you can have. So, being so drunk and intoxicated, he is no longer concerned with the actions that have been performed or with actions that have not been performed. There's nothing that pressure his mind. Well, he's completely drunk. This is what people describe samadhi, ecstasy. He moves in the world with a childlike simplicity. Although he seems to accept the objects of the world, he is actually totally detached from them. He is neither involved in avoiding conditions of adversity, nor concerned with promoting conditions of prosperity. This is at the internal, deep level, not to be taken literally. As long as one lives in practical world, you have to avoid things that are to be avoided. Don't walk on thorns. Move away from pitfalls. All that practical reality continues. But in his inner level, there is no adversity, no prosperity. He does not rejoice at the success of his activities, nor does he grieve at their failure. Give a very simple way to understand. A sage gave a talk, but his talk didn't go viral. He doesn't care whether it goes viral or doesn't go viral. Truth that is expressed is going to win. It doesn't matter. You don't have to push it. The sun may turn cool, and the moon may emit scorching heat, and the flames of fire may burn downwards. Flame always goes up. All these are impossibilities. All this can happen in the world. But the mind of a sage is not agitated by any sense of wonder. Suddenly, you are told a great deluge has come. A big part of the country, a big island has simply been tossed. Now, this type of news, of course, I'm also referring to the present world of the virus fear. This news of all these sorrowful happenings do not in any way restrict the vision of a sage. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And therefore his mind does not show a big change. You tell someone the news of some calamity and look at what happens to the mind, what happens to the face. But it is not so in the case of a sage. He is not living to secure his history. He is not worried that time is changing, climate is changing, what will happen to humanity. When will God come to help humanity? But here and now, all is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. And this is the wonder of wonders. A sage is not affected by the happenings of the illusory world. Because the world is illusory world. This does not mean that in your practical world you will not be kind, compassionate, you will do everything. The practical reality, sage handles them. Internal reality, he is not the doer. Sage can be expressed in three aspects. As Rama asked Hanuman, how am I related to? Deha buddhya to dasoham. To the extent you are working in the world with your physical body, do everything needed because your master is looking after you. Don't make any error. And the master is a loving master, God. And if you don't succeed, don't worry. It's the master's job. Let him worry. So just remain, be an instrument in divine hand. That first stage. Jiva buddhya tadanshaka. Come to the next stage, you are a soul. And the soul is reflection of God. Soul is like a reflected sun, God is like the sun. The soul must go on discovering its luminosity of its essential nature. Jivadhya tadanshaka. From the point of the soul, you are a ray. God is like the sun. Therefore, grow in the image of God. Atma buddhya tavaivaham. And go beyond your body and soul to your essential nature. And that essential nature is Brahman, the Absolute. All these three are well assimilated in Enlightened Sage. Just as rice doesn't grow in the sky, anger, hatred, and other impurities do not grow in the mind of a sage, which has become expansive like the winter sky, clear sky, the autumn sky. That type of his internal mindset. Where is pleasure or pain in a world that is illusory and transient? All things that you encounter in your dream, they are all unreal. In the state of enlightenment, you don't hold on to anything of this world. Just like when you wake up, you don't hold on to anything of the dream world. Where are the surging waves in a mirage? You see the mirage and you see the surging waves, but all this is appearance, not reality. Thus doing, a sage is ever established in the self. The entire world process becomes a mirage. And a sage is not deluded deer. Knows mirage as a mirage. Having developed the magnanimous vision, I am Brahman. Therefore, I am the creator of the world. I am the self. A sage does not allow his mind to be afflicted by the numerous objects of this world. Upanishadic peace chant says, Aham vrikshasya reriva, kirtih prishtham gireriva. I am the remover of the world tree. My glory is like a mountain top, and so forth. That type of I am waits for you. And your mind has to be cleaned up to accept it. With this we conclude. And prayer, may Karuna, my grace, the grace of God, turn this virus into Karuna virus. The real compassion, nectar of compassion enters your heart. Then what do? You save yourself from yourself. Your higher self dominates, the lower self dissolves. As long as you have not come to that, you have no compassion. Real compassion, you are drowning. Save yourself. And all worldly situations in divine plan are meant to awaken your aspiration for realizing who am I. And therefore keep swab on your nose, which I am implying, control your vasanas, subtle desires, and be detached, asanga. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.